Hey everybody, I was just going to make a video on some a little bit more advanced Monopoly tips for people because I was running around YouTube and looking at different things, and all I saw were uh, really basic videos like that tell you, oh, you should get out of jail right away. Yeah, that's too basic. You should know that. If you don't know that, then go look at a basic video. There are plenty of them. But this is the next level. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to try to teach you guys something that they're not telling you. Okay, first of all, this is the old board. This is wrong now, but it's a good picture though. The income tax is now $200 every time. There's no 10%. It's just $200. That's how much it costs you. And it doesn't go to the middle or anything like that, but you should know that too. You should know official rules. And this is 100, not 75. The luxury tax. You should know that too. But anyways, I'll start with the beginning. I'll go over every property and what I think about it, but I mean, what I think about it is based on a lot of stats and stuff. I mean, but also my opinion, because I mean, stats aren't everything. So anyways, okay. So Mediterranean is like basically the smallest and is really not landed on very often at all, but the houses are cheap on it. I think it's okay for early game. It's good if you can get it early, and if you have money to build houses, then yeah, it's good. Okay, Baltic is better. It gives you like twice the money from as Mediterranean. It's weird because this is like 250 for a hotel, and I think this Baltic is like 500 or something. Let's see. The railroads are great, but they're great in the beginning and they get worse and worse as the game goes on. Like if nobody has really anything and like you're able to get a railroad and block them from getting monopolies, then yeah, you're gonna suck them dry over time. But it's a very slow gain because you're getting 200 a pop if you get all four. So it's not really a game winner, but it can set you up for beating people. Well, and if you have a monopoly and that, but you shouldn't be beating people that badly. Then by that point you're really beating them. But anyways, the light blues. Now these are some of my favorites because Connecticut's actually my favorite property because it's the most efficient property for how much you put in and how much you get out. And that goes for pretty much all the light blues, which is why my strategy basically revolves around the light blues. We'll get to that later, I guess. I think people land on them a lot, and one of the reasons being people go a lot. There are a lot of chance cards and community chests or whatever that they'll bring you to go. So after go, 7 rolls would bring you to chance, but 6 and 8 are here, and this is 9, of course. So it's decently common. I mean, it's not quite as good as, say, the oranges, but it's still pretty good, I think. Anyways, then there's the purples, which I really don't like very much because, honestly, I don't know, because when you're in jail, you're not going to be coming out. Sometimes they will. I mean, sometimes, yeah, they'll go on states or something. They'll roll, well, no, not states. They'll go in Virginia. They'll roll double twos, go to Virginia. But, I mean, that's not very likely that people are going to do that. They're okay. They're not as good, in my opinion. I would rather have the light blue or the orange than the purples. But if they're all you can get and it's early enough, then yeah, they're gonna be good enough. Electric company. Only thing you need to know about this really is that the electric company and the waterworks I don't think are very good at all. I don't think they really even matter that much. I mean, they're sucky, but try to obviously if you're trying to beat people that are worse than you, then definitely make it seem great and then trade them. But waterworks is landed on more, so waterworks is better. So if you have to mortgage one of the two, mortgage electric company first because waterworks is better, and you'll still get the 10 times instead of the 4 times. Anyways, let's see. So St. Charles is a good one because It makes purple better, I guess, because there are cards that go to St. Charles. So if you have a lot of houses and stuff in St. Charles, people might miss it, but then they might get the card that brings them there, and then they'll get hit. So it's pretty good. I honestly think St. Charles is good, but I think they say Virginia is the one that people land on most. But I think either one, really. I mean, it's not a very big difference. State's probably the worst. All right, so Pennsylvania Railroad. This is second best railroad. All right, I forgot to tell you guys what the order of the railroads is. Not all railroads are made equal, guys. B&O is the best. Pennsylvania is the second best. Reading Railroad's the third best, but I think these are pretty close because there's a card that goes to Reading Railroad. And then Short Line is the worst. So in other words, you mortgage Short Line first, then Reading, and so on. Mortgage your worst stuff first, obviously. And that matters because statistically they're going to be landing on, these, and you're still going to get your 200 if you have all four. So, I mean, yeah, it matters which one you're mortgaging. Okay, so now we're getting to the orange. Now, the oranges are, the most landed property in the game. So, basically, the rank as far as orange is New York is the best. Most landed on and the most powerful. So, New York is definitely the best, no question. Tennessee, second best. St. James, third best. But they're all really good, and out of any color group, they're the most landed on. And basically, they're the very optimal property, kind of mid-game, early game kind of thing going on. I mean, even late game. So really, these are really great properties. But, you might not always get them, and I wouldn't fight for them too hard. I mean, if I could get light blue earlier, I would definitely just do that, because we'll get to that later. Free parking, nothing happens. You should know that. Let's see. Red. The Reds, rank of Reds is Illinois is the best. Illinois is the most landed on property in the game. And then Kentucky is second best. Indiana third best. But people land on all three. Don't start thinking that, in Illinois everybody's landing on this and nobody's landing on it. No. There are fairly slight differences, but they are significant. There's a card that brings you to Illinois. And it's also 14 away from jail. So if you roll two average rolls, 7 and 7, you go 7, and you go another 7, you go to Illinois. So that's why it's the most landed property in the game. And also you'll notice B&O is really close to that, and that's the best railroad. Anyways, then we get to yellows. Yellows are basically, I think, ranked about third as far as me being good, I think. Being landed on. I think they're pricey. I really don't like anything that's kind of moderate and pricey. I like either the big ones or the dark blues or the light blues. That's usually where I go, because I get my early and then I got my late. But whatever. I mean, stuff happens. So if you can get yellows, they are pretty good. I mean, you will be able to get something, but I haven't seen that many wins with them, to be honest. I don't know. I don't really like them that much. Anyways, I don't know. As far as most landed on, I think it says that Atlantic's the best, and then Ventnor, and then Marvin. But honestly, I don't think there's much of a difference. I don't think you really have to worry about that. But for green, I think Pennsylvania is the best. I believe the pros keep the most on Pennsylvania. It is the bigger one, and I think it's the more landed on one. These other two, I think North Carolina is better than Pacific. I think Pacific is pretty not landed on. Shoreline, people don't land out very much, but they do. Let's see, Park Place. All right, the only thing you need to know about blues is, well, I really like them. They pay for themselves fairly quickly, even if you don't have houses on them, which is good. Because you're generating revenue, passively, even though you haven't invested, which that's a good thing. Because, I mean, $50 a pop for Boardwalk, so what, 8 times, something like that, you're going to pay off the whole thing. So it's pretty good. It's one of the fastest you can get your money back on. Park Place is not nearly as good as Boardwalk. Boardwalk is much better. There's a card that goes to Boardwalk. And if you can imagine getting the card and going to Boardwalk and having houses or a hotel, or whatever on the biggest property in the game, it's game over. I mean, it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest and baddest property in the game. And it's decently well landed on. But Park Place, the only thing you gotta know is Park Place is landed on like half as much. So Boardwalk is much better. But if you get Park Place, you might want to hold on to it, because if you get Park Place early, chances are you might have a better chance of getting Boardwalk. So once it's kind of like most people, you'll get Boardwalk sometimes really early. Sometimes people get the card and get Boardwalk right away. And in that case, it'll probably take forever to get to Park Place, because Park Place is one of the least landed on squares of all time. Okay, let's see, what else do I have for you guys? I know I got the stats here, but I already kind of told you that. Let's see what I need to do. Oh yeah, I need to know what I need to talk about. Oh yeah, my strategy, okay. So, my strategy is light blue. It's early game light blue, I would say. Basically what I do is I fight for what I do is I'll pick up every property that I land on, which is obviously what you should do. Even, green, whatever, I'll get all that. I think green's the worst. If you ask me, I've never seen anybody freaking win with green. I think it's terrible. But anyways, I sell them to people. I mean, like, I'll trade like a green. If you're not a very good player, I'll be trading you my green for a light blue, or anything like that, just to get the light blues, but not to give up my money. So what I'm doing is I'm paying for the property, and then I'm giving them the property that they want for the light blue. Or I don't know, but somehow, I don't know, let me think about this, because usually I'm trying to have, the idea is that I get the light blues and money, and then I just slap hotels down on it and everybody's screwed, because they're really, really efficient properties. People land on them, and then you won't be able to build because I'm just too big and too bad, and there's no way you're going to be able to beat me. But what I try to do is I try to give people really bulky monopolies, like green and yellow and maybe even blue if I'm desperate. And when at times when they don't have that much money, because it doesn't matter if you have a monopoly if you don't have the money to develop. So in other words, I just like to get something, which I like the light blues the most, because they are very efficient in landing on, like I keep saying. So in other words, that's my strategy. I don't know how else to explain it. And then I guess during that I'll be blocking different properties. Like, say if I have some random purple, I might just hold on to that. I mean, it all depends, but that's what I call a block. You just have one property and you just won't get rid of it because you don't want them to get a monopoly. And yeah, and this is how it works. You're never gonna want people to get these properties early when they have a lot of money. That's just how the game is. That's how the timing of the game is. You don't want people to get this early or this. But I'm more okay with getting them something like this early, because it's just not an early game thing. Because you can develop these more efficiently and get money faster this way. You don't need a killer. It will be killer though, because people won't have anything. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, you still need to learn how to play the game. You still need to know who to trade, and the trades are really important. I mean, I'm not advanced, but I'm definitely not a beginner. I know if you don't know what you're doing, I'm going to beat you. I mean, if you are just like a normal person who never plays, I mean, you're going down. Which is basically why, I like to play it, because I just like to beat people, at Monopoly. Let's see. I think that about covers it. Wait a minute, what else am I supposed to talk about? Oh yeah, blocking. I guess I already kind of covered that. But yeah, the timing thing is important. You never want to give... what you want to do is give somebody something like dark blue when they have no money. That would be great, because these are 200 a house. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. the houses go up in price 50. They start 50 on the bottom, then they're 100 here, then they're 150 here, and then they're 200 on the last side. So in other words, it's hard for you to get return on these because you're paying so much money that in order to make that up, it's going to take a while. That's what the light blues are good at. They don't cost very much money. It's 50 a house, but yet you're getting like 600 or something, you know, when they're landing on your hotels. So it's very cost effective, and you're going to drain them before they can get anything going. That's a great strategy for beating people that don't know what they're doing. Anyways, I guess that's it. I can't really think of any other strategy. If you need basics, go look at another video. Yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.